Bounce back or bust right now on Fantasy Football Today Express. This is such a cool topic that I think we should do this for the full-length show for sure. So bounce back or bust. We're looking at players coming off of injuries, and will they be worth their ADP? And what ADP are we using? Well, Dave set up a bunch of mock drafts with our fans, mostly just the fans drafting. So we're going to use the ADP from those mocks, which is early, but I still think it's pretty good stuff. All right, so the first player is Christian McCaffrey. Too early? What do you think? 11th overall. That's his ADP. And these are what? Half PPR or PPR leagues?
It's PPR leagues, and this is where he deserves to go in full PPR. He's earned the benefit of the doubt, but anybody who drafts, before you hit that button to draft Christian McCaffrey, you have to say to yourself, am I okay with the risk involved? You know that it's like 3 of the last 4 seasons now. He hasn't been fully healthy. He hasn't been himself. He seems healthy now. He's not quite 30 years old. Niners offense should still be really good. He's still really good. I think if you promise yourself to draft his backup, because Garendo looked pretty good last year when he had the opportunity to play. If you promise yourself, okay, when it gets to round 8, I'm going to spend the pick on Garendo just to lock up the 49ers backfield. There are very few backfields that you want to lock up. That's one you want to lock up. It safeguards the pick, and it gives you the chance to cash in on a guy who could literally be RB1. So I'm okay with him at 11th, but fantasy drafters who are very risk averse, they're not going to take Christian McCaffrey at 11.
I could see him being RB2 for me when it's all said and done. I started the process as the highest on McCaffrey, I think. Mm-hmm. Got nothing but good reports since then. He seems fine right now. He seems completely healthy. Mm-hmm. So in a full PPR league, I mean, RB1 for all of us is Bijan. RB1 for most of the industry or people drafting is Barkley. So if we're talking about who's RB2, I mean, in a full PPR league, I could see 40 more catches for Christian McCaffrey than Saquon Barkley. So it's only the risk that you'd have to consider. And I don't know. I mean, like Barkley's had some injury prone seasons too. You lay out the risk. I just kind of want to throw caution to the wind and just go for McCaffrey.
Kind of makes you want to take a receiver early, doesn't it?
No, not really. I mean,
really?
It does take McCaffrey. I just love McCaffrey. Well, here's a receiver that's going pretty late, Dave. How about Chris Godwin? He is going 59th. And I've been kind of anti-Chris Godwin because in our drafts, he goes so much earlier than that, but I'd be all in on that on 59th. How do you feel about Chris Godwin coming back from a very serious injury?
I think as long as he's taking part in training camp, I'm totally fine with this. And I would imagine that this ADP will go earlier. He'll steam up a little bit if the camp reports are good. And right now, everybody's kind of sitting on the fence going, well, I don't want to take him too soon because what if he's not the same guy? And what if Ibuka takes more work away, more targets away from him and Evans? And so that's why his ADP is where it is right now. I could see if he's a full participant in camp and he looks good, the reports are all positive. Again, not the coach speak, just the reports. Independent journalists chiming in, saying that Godwin looks good. Okay, he should go probably 8 to 10 spots higher.
And Rashee Rice is going in between McCaffrey and Chris Godwin. Rashee Rice, excuse me, 35th, 36th overall, right around that range. So we're talking at the 3-4 turn for Rashee Rice, who in week 4 suffered a season-ending knee injury. What do you think about that value for Rice?
He's in the exact same boat as Godwin. I don't like that his ADP is that much higher than Godwin's, but I get it. Everybody saw his first 3 games and he went full banana. Now you've got to wait to see how much he's participating in camp. But I honestly think that his target volume will be affected by the other pass catchers in Kansas City. I think Pandora's box has been opened on Worthy, and they know what he can do, and they're going to try and build on that in Kansas City. And Travis Kelce isn't dead. He's still going to be running plenty of routes every single. He'll play 80% of the snaps. Could still see 7 targets per game. He can be good. I don't think he'll be elite Travis Kelce ever again. And so what's left for Rashee Rice there? Still a good role, but I don't know if this is the spot where I would get him. By the way, I mentioned this on McCaffrey. I was wrong. It's 3 of the last 5 seasons. He's missed a ton of time, not 3 of the last 4.
Oh, I thouut it was also. Oh, he got traded.
Games, 2022, 17 games.
Yeah, you're right.
So, really, this injury that he has, This is the first time that the 49ers have gone through something like this with McCaffrey. Yeah. But and it's just weird how his injuries have come about and why it takes him so long to come back. And you're hoping he does come all the way back, because when he does play, I mean, everybody knows he's awesome for fantasy.
It's just so ironic because when he got traded to the 49ers, they just had this track record of all their running backs always getting injured. And he's managed to escape that. And then even this year, all their running backs got injured, even after McCaffrey. Right? They just kept suffering all these injuries. Okay, we got to take a break. We have 2 more players to talk about, 2 more injury bounce-back players to discuss. We'll be right back on FFT Express. Dave, let's talk about Chris Olave. He's going 78th overall. I think to me, that's another great value. It's a lot not to like about Olave, but 78th overall is good to me. I would take that in a second. Do you think he's worth that pick, 78th, Chris Olave?
That's like a wide receiver 3 range. He might even be your wide receiver 4. Last year, he stunk, and then he got hurt. The year before, he was averaging almost 15 PPR points per game. I don't love anything about the situation in New Orleans except who the play caller is. And so if Kellen Moore settles on, all right, we have to stick with our best players. Let's just find ways to get the ball in our best players' hands. Olave is going to be one of those guys. He's one of their best players. At least I think he is. I would imagine that the coaching staff would feel the same way. I don't think they're going to put the ball in, figure out ways to get Rashid Shaheed the ball 8 times a game. He's fast, but I don't think he can do what Olave can do. So this is really good value, but I do see a huge ceiling here or a limitation on the ceiling for Olave because of the quarterbacks that they've got in New Orleans.
Okay. Other wide receivers that might be going in that range would be like Cooper Kupp, Jordan Addison, Rome Odunze.
Yeah, Olave will be ahead of most of those guys.
Okay. Finally, we have Isiah Pacheco. Yeah. My favorite value on this list, 80th overall for Isiah Pacheco. Cha-ching for me. What about you?
No question, it's a cha-ching if you're getting Isiah Pacheco that late. And I would guess that his ADP will rise to the point where he's going earlier in drafts than 80th overall. But like I said about Worthy, I think the genie's out of the lamp, but not in a good way with Pacheco. I feel like the coaching staff is going to have to see it first from him. They brought back Kareem Hunt. They signed Elijah Mitchell. They drafted Brashard Smith. They can have a quality committee where Pacheco leads the way, but doesn't have to play on 3rd downs, doesn't have to work at the goal line. They can limit his snaps and his touches so that he stays healthy. We know he's a violent runner. And so what does that mean for his fantasy value? He might get 14 touches a game. They might all be low value touches where he's going to have to break a long run. He's going to have to score from 8 yards out, stuff like that, where he's not going to be able to give you the high value opportunities that maybe some other running backs on that team could do. Where it could switch is in season. The Chiefs realize, all right, Pacheco's healthy. He's humming right now. Let's feed him the rock. And I think that's what you're hoping for if you draft Pacheco. But I'd be surprised if that happened within the first month of the year based on how the running back room is structured in Kansas City as we speak.
All right. Thank you, Dave. Much appreciated, sir.
You are welcome. Enjoy your next shower.
I'll be thinking about that. All right, we'll talk to y'all tomorrow on FFT Express.
You will?